Hey YouTube, it's Lisa from Lisa Cantalupo Leather Art. Are you looking for an easy way to make leather flowers? Then watch this video because in it I'm going to show you how to use one of my leather flower making kits to make leather flowers of all different sizes. In this video I made some leather earrings, but after I made them I realized these would be perfect for men's suits as a little boutonniere for like a wedding or a formal occasion, or just something to add to snazz up one of your plain boring suits. You can make them all different colors too. And as always, I greatly appreciate your support. Anytime that you like, share, and subscribe, it really helps to keep me going and this YouTube channel going. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Brooches, bobby pins, earring backs. Found them. In your kit, you get a nice big piece of leather and cardboard templates, but here I'm using the plastic templates that I use during my leather flower making classes. I laid out all the templates to determine how large I wanted my leather flower earrings to be. I'm removing the rest of the templates that I don't need and arranging the ones that I will be using in the most effective way to conserve the leather so that I can make more flowers in the future. Once I have them arranged, I begin tracing them out, and here I'm using a white charcoal pencil. The white charcoal pencil will come right off in one of the next steps. And you really don't have to worry about being precise with your tracing because you're going to cut it out. And once the flower is finished, you won't even notice any imperfections. After I'm done tracing enough petals for the first flower, I use those same templates and repeat the process, tracing the templates for a second flower. Once the templates have been traced, we are now ready to cut. Here I'm using a sharp pair of scissors to do the cutting. And again, you don't have to be precise because in the following steps, those imperfections just work themselves out. Remember, creating is supposed to be an outlet and it's supposed to be fun. So just enjoy this process. Once all the flowers have been cut out, it's now time to punch holes into the center of each flower. Here I am punching 2 holes into the center of each flower, but in past tutorials I have stacked all the flower petals together in a staggered formation and then punched 2 holes into the center of the top flower. You can do it either way. Once all the holes are punched out, I'm now ready for the next step, which is spraying with the stiffening agent that came with your flower making kit. Make sure you shake that up really well. Then spray each flower generously, front and back. I'm even rubbing it in to make sure that I get all the petals and all the edges and they're all saturated with the stiffening agent. For this step, you're going to need to grab the paper clip that came with your flower making kit, open it up to a U shape, and begin to thread each flower petal, beginning with the smallest to the largest. We're only threading one set of flower petals on this paper clip in this step. Make sure you put the second set aside. Once the flower petals have been threaded onto the paper clip, now you just start twisting and pinching and manipulating the leather to make them look like flower petals. This process takes a while to do, but it's also a lot of fun. Because I have fat fingers, here's a little trick that I came up with. Grab a needle nose pliers and use that to pinch and twist and manipulate these little teeny petals that are in the center of this flower. Using the needle nose pliers really makes this so much easier. Once the first flower is done, now we do the same procedure for the second flower. Using the same technique, threading the smallest flower petal to the largest flower petal. And again, pinch, twist, and manipulate those little teeny petals to replicate a flower. And remember, grab that needle nose pliers. It really does help. Okay, for this next tip, thread the leather lacing through the center holes of the flower that you just made. Once you have the piece of leather threaded through there, remove the paper clip and tie that lacing off in a double knot. Once I have tied that off in a double knot, I grab a pair of scissors and trim them to about 1 inch long, and then I slice each of the leather lacing down the center. What I'm trying to do is make them look like stamen. Once I have them cut to the desired length and thickness, I then use a little more of the stiffening agent, spraying it on my surface or my tray, and I wet those little pieces of leather. I twist them to make them resemble stamen. And don't be afraid to go back and trim these even shorter or thinner. We just repeat these same steps for the second flower. Because I was making earrings, I am making sure that both flowers resemble one another. I had to go back and pinch and twist a little bit to ensure that I had a nice looking set. Once the flowers are completely dry, grab your stud earring hardware and a glue gun. I'm placing a little bit of the hot melt glue on the center of the stud and then placing one of the earrings that I just made into the glue. I'm using my awl to push the flower into the earring stud. Make sure the contact is good and it's nice and secure. I am repeating the same process for the second flower in the second earring stud backing. It does not take the glue long to dry, and once it's dry, we now have a pair of earrings. Not only do they make beautiful earrings, but they also make beautiful boutonnieres for a suit or tuxedo for a wedding.
If you try this project at home, please let me know in the comments how you made out and post some pictures on my socials so I can see your leather art. For DIY leather crafting tips and tricks, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click that bell to be notified when new videos are released. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.